Alrighty, hello and welcome to round 3 of ORL Tier 2 here in Saudi Arabia. We are looking to have an absolutely great race here with a full grid predicted. Mickey has just gotten into the lobby and we have 20 out of 20 drivers. This should be an absolutely phenomenal race. So, first driver out is Frosty. Actually, no, it's not. It's one of the Mercedes. Which Mercedes is it? I am blind. It is Nuggies, but it's for some reason saying he's in the pit. So, we will go to Frosty just in case that's a bug. And, yeah, being Saudi Arabia, it's looking like it might be an interesting race. And I think the grid will be quite close. Let me just get the old graphic settings up. For some reason it's not nighttime. I'm sorry about that, but you know. I can't run. Do we want to try run ultra high? My computer might blow up, but you know, we'll see. Yo, fat FPS right there. I'm running it ultra high and the house is still blurring. Let's go. Alrighty, here we go. First flying lap in Jeddah is Frosty. He's coming to the line to begin his flying lap now, and we'll go off board for the first flying lap of this qualifying session. It is looking to be a competitive grid here, so we'll see what Frosty can manage. Down into turn 1, braking at 100 meters. Get the car tipped in. The curbs are changed a bit here in the F123 game compared to F122, so you need to be careful not to bottom out and not to accidentally cut some of the corners. Here, turn 5, the wall is sticked out a little bit, so you can't cut it quite as much, and it's absolutely flat out around this section now. Don't become a skateboard, and he's gone off the track. Somehow didn't invalidate, but he's going to bail out of his lap, as you would probably expect. DXman's serving a quali ban, so we'll go to Milan, down through turn 1. Now, back on the power, up to 4th gear, 5th, 6th, and maybe even into 7th. Braking at the 50 meter board, get it tipped in. He ran out a little bit wide, but that's because this corner's a lot more tricky this year. And now flat out, all the way through this sector here, and he's nearly become a skateboard, but he didn't become a skateboard, and that's exactly what you're looking for. But there he runs wide and he invalidates. Jeddah already claiming some victims here. Now Hudman in the AlphaTauri with the number 3 on, reminiscent of Ricardo being back for this weekend in Hungary. And he is absolutely flying out here on track. Will he be the first one to set a banker, or will it be Spicy? I'm honestly not 100% sure. As now DRS open as we enter the corner that heads into sector 3, braking down into 6th gear. Get it tipped to the right, back on the power as fast as you like, and then absolutely flat out until you head into the final corner. The lap time doesn't look horrible. Frosty sets a 1:33, but that isn't a good lap at all. Obviously, he ran off the track and bailed out. So here we go. Hudman rounding the final corner. And he's going to open up the DRS to the line. What's the lap time going to end up being? It's going to be a 1 minute 28.6, putting in P1 for the moment. Spicy heading through sector 3. And as he rounds the final corner, what's the lap time going to be? I think he's going to bail out. He's on his way to the pit lane, it looks like. No, he is going to go to the line. And not a great lap time with a 1 minute 31. Phoenix to the line, 129.0, puts in P3. Kia plays 27.3. Not great, and I think we might even see a 26 in this qualifying session, but it's a provisional pole for the moment by quite a margin. Zonix now heading down the twisty straight, heading to this far chicane. You got to trust the car on this one. He runs out wide. That's going to lose him a couple of tenths, and then he becomes a skateboard on the exit and rides the curb like Tony Hawk on a skateboard. And now DRS Open as he heads into the final corner. Will he bail out of this lap, or will he just bite the bullet and know that it's going to be a slow lap, but it's going to be a banker? As heading into the final corner, he goes back on the power. Don't do a Max Verstappen. He is in a Red Bull, but he hasn't done it. And now to the line, what's it going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 28.3, putting in P2. Is Sonic going again? No, he's not. Sorry, I was just checking my phone there because I was getting heaps of Discord notifications. Sparks is about to begin a lap. He's just clipped the inside wall though, so he's not going to get a great exit onto his lap, but we'll go off-board with the Red Bull driver. I think he has the chance to go for pole position here, maybe even fight for the win in the race. So, hard on the brakes into turn 1, takes a lot of the apex, gets an ideal line through the second part of the first chicane. And now through that left-hander, now flat out through this section. You've really got to trust the car here. It is absolutely phenomenal the speeds these cars can carry, upwards of 250 k's an hour through these corners. Is absolutely mental. As now flat out incurring a bit of traffic on his path here. He's 10th.5 down, so maybe not the most ideal first sector he could have hoped for. I don't know if it was from the traffic or if he made a mistake when I wasn't looking at the screen for a sec through the left-hander. Now, these chicanes, these are some of the trickiest parts of the track here, and he's absolutely nailed the first one. Will he be able to hook up the second chicane as you enter this twisty straight? You've got to open up the DRS and survive. Obviously, the barriers have been pushed around a little bit, so you can actually see it's not completely blind. He's down in his time by 4/10. He's had another snap. He's really not on a good lap here. His Spark's really not hooking it up. And he will not be happy with this one, and yeah, he bailed out. That is not a good lap at all, and not a great way to start his second run in qualifying. Dead Heat bailed out of his lap, and Alpha 3 isn't on a lap. Call Me Keg, though, is on a lap, and is heading through the final straight now, so we'll see what he can manage to line. He's out of battery, or his light's flashing red at least, so he's got his battery off. And no, this isn't going to be a good lap at all. Milan has invalidated. Frosty might be on a lap. Yes, he is, as he enters into turn 1 in the Haas. And now, quickly flick the steering wheel, get as close to the barrier as you dare. You've got to be absolutely brushing the barriers here. Max Verstappen showed that in 2021 before he messed up at the final corner, and Frosty has invalidated. Couple of drivers getting caught out here. PS Bomber, though, coming to start his lap in the Alpine. So we'll see what he can manage. So DRS Open down into turn 1. We'll have the telemetry on for this lap. Down to 30. He's already ran a bit wide, so we'll be hoping he can improve. Love the traction control kicking into play there. And down into 4th. Get the car tipped in. His lap time through the first sector looking alright so far, not anything special though. As down to 6th, and then flat out through this right nearly. He had to lift off because he got his turning point wrong. As you now enter this fast sweeping hairpin. It's weird to say a fast hairpin, but it truly is. Because of that camber, you can carry so much speed and pick up the throttle so early, especially in these Formula 1 cars nowadays. So much downforce and so much speed you can carry. Now down to 5th, ran a bit wide at that chicane. Gets a decent exit though, so it's looking alright for the moment. Now DRS Open. What's the top speed he's going to hit here? He's going to hit 327. And down to 6th. Gets the second chicane alright. So this is looking like a decent lap. It won't be challenging for pole, but it is a banker nonetheless, because he hasn't done a banker yet. With 8 minutes left in this qualifying session, people will now be coming out for their second runs in qualifying. Braking late. Did PS Bomber makes it to the apex, misses it slightly though. And DRS Open to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 30.3. P11. So we'll now go, who do we want to go to? We'll go Kizzy, no, he's invalidated. Zonix is on another lap here. Obviously, there's the chicane where he lost a lot of time, and the exit of the final corner where he has a lot of time to find, and he's already nearly 2/10 up. This could be the lap that finds him challenging Kia. Hudman P2, I didn't even touch on that, and that's a very nice lap from there into the 27s. Will Zonix be able to beat Hudman, maybe even take the fight to Kia? We'll have to see in his second run in qualifying here. If he can set a decent lap, he might pressure Kia into coming out and doing a second run, because I don't think Kia plans on doing a second run right now. He might be only trying to do 2. He's getting a nice slipstream from this Aston Martin, but this Aston Martin not getting out of the way, but Zonix actually manages to just get the Aston Martin out of the way at the perfect time. It would have distracted him a bit, but considering how poor his run through there was on the previous lap, that's not an issue at all, because he still got it pretty damn good, and now hard on the brakes. He might still report that Aston Martin. We'll have to see post-race. How does it affect his lap, though? As he comes to the line, he'll be very much up on his lap time. Will it take it to Kia? I don't think so, but it will be a 28.0. Doesn't improve into the 27s, but he does improve a little bit. Mickey, though, on a lap in P4 in the AlphaTauri. We'll have to see what he can manage. This is his second flying lap. Will he be able to break into the 27s? I wonder. Mickey is a very competitive driver here. His pace in qualifying is never really the greatest, though. He normally tries to shine in the races, but his internet connection, as you can see, is always a bit of a downfall for him. Bit of a twitch there as he got up onto that massive curb, and he's 2/10 down. He might bail out of this lap, but I think for the moment he's going to continue to keep pushing in this lap. A lot of drivers make one mistake and decide that is their lap over, but Mickey is going to push right up until the end here, through the chicanes. He clearly thinks there's time to find in other places of the circuit, so that 2/10 he lost won't be too big. That's a Ferrari round. I think that's Phoenix. Yeah, it is Phoenix, because DXman is serving a qualifying ban. DRS open. Mickey, what's the sector split going to be as he enters the chicane? Still 2/10 down. Will he improve, or will he just come in at the end of this lap and get ready for his final run in qualifying? This AlphaTauri absolutely flying around the track, but not improving to his previous best lap time. With the DRS open, battery burning. What's he going to manage? Around the final corner he goes. Will he make it to the apex? It looks like he has. Will he get a good exit? Yes, he does. Will he improve to the line, or will he bail out and go into the pit lane? He's going to come to the line. Has he improved? Has he not? He hasn't. He has improved by 0.3 of a second, so that final corner must have been atrocious. 28.0, only a few milliseconds off Zonix, and still 2/10 or more in it for his final run. Phoenix coming to the line in the Scuderia Ferrari, obviously going to come into the pits as we saw him spin earlier. Keg beginning a lap, so... Oh, actually, Milan P2 just set a very, very nice lap. Is he going again? I doubt it. But that is a very nice lap there from Milan, 27.8. The Alfa Romeo is currently running P1 and P2. That makes me very happy as their team principal. And I'll go to call me Keg and I'll go off board as I just quickly check something. Let's call me Keg invalidated. So we'll go to the other Aston. No, he's coming in. No drivers on laps right now, but PS Bomber is on an out lap, so I'll just So PS Bomber through the first sector, carrying quite a lot of speed. And flat, oh, massive moment there. Will he continue on, or is that his lap over? That'll be his lap over though. He's gonna keep pushing, but there's no real point trying to watch this lap, but I'll keep off board with him. He is a second down though, so he should just bail out, turn off his battery and go again. everybody will be thinking about coming out for their final runs in qualifying. You can see a lot of drivers coming out onto their outlap, Sparks and Dead Heat being the first of them, and I think we'll watch Sparks because I think he has plenty of time in him. So, Sparks now, actually, is he getting out of people's way? Dead Heat, yeah, is ahead of him. So we'll go on board with Dead Heat in the final runs in qualifying, and we'll have the telemetry on. And here we go, for his final run in qualifying, Dead Heat is underway. DRS open, will Dead Heat be able to challenge and get into the top 6, maybe even higher? We'll have to see. As battery on, hard on the brakes, down into turn 1, down to 3rd gear, make it to the apex, dab the brakes, get it back across for the right, get a good exit up to 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear. These cars accelerate insanely quickly now, down to 4th, keep it to the left now, get as close to the barrier as you like, and now flat out through this section. If he doesn't take it flat out, he will be losing time. He has to lift because he takes a bit of an unoptimized line there. Dab of the brakes, he dragged it just a little bit, and you can actually see his brake is dragging by a little bit there. It's by a pixel, so hopefully it isn't slowing the car down, but his brake is dragging. And on the throttle, he's already up 3/10. This would put him in a very nice position for the race. This is, as his current delta, would put him into the top 6, but other people are on their final runs. Dead Heat pushing hard though, should find more than 3/10 in this lap, so we'll have to see if he can maybe even challenge for the top 4 or beyond. DRS now open for the Mercedes driver. What's he going to be able to manage down the straight? Already hitting 333 k's an hour, and he's nearly 4/10 up on his lap. Purple middle sector there. He's absolutely flying as he heads into the run to the final corner. This lap time may end up being very, very good. Will it be challenging past P6 though is the question I think we're asking. Kia retires from the session. He doesn't want to do a final run, he told me in the Alfa Romeo chat. And now to the line comes Dead Heat. It's been a very solid lap time. What's he going to be able to manage to the line? It's going to be a 1 minute 28.2. Puts in P6 exactly. Now we're going to run to Sparks, who's mucked up his final run in qualifying. And he's out. He isn't going to improve anymore, and he's P9. Phoenix out there pushing on track will be looking to get past P10, maybe just try and improve past Sparks. A 29.0 really isn't what you'd come to expect from Phoenix. I'm actually going to go to Milan though. He's coming to the final corner. He's up 5/10. Will he top his teammate to the line? Will he get pole position? Will Milan? He does get pole position! And now we're going to run back to Phoenix, who's coming to the line. And Phoenix comes home P9, top Sparks 28.5. And Hudman, no, he's retired from the session. Zonix to the line. Will he improve? Obviously, he had traffic on his previous lap. Will it be enough to put him in the fight for P3? Will he improve past Hudman? Will he maybe even challenge one of the Alfa Romeos? Or will it be an Alfa Romeo front row lockout here in qualifying? It's looking likely right now. To the line, Zonix goes P2 and disrupts the Alfa Romeo 1-2. What a lap there from Zonix. And he has just separated the Alfa Romeos. Kia shouldn't have gotten cocky and should have gone again. Anyway, so What a result there for Alfa Romeo in qualifying. P1 and P3. Zonex splits them though. P2, only 37 milliseconds off pole. Hudman, P4. Great result for AlphaTauri's P4 and P5. Alpha 3 in P6 in the Aston. Dead Heat, P7. Kizzy, P8. Phoenix, P9. Sparks, P10. Firestrike, P11. Call Me Keg, P12. PS Bomber, P13. Spicy, P14. Frosty, P15. P16's Churchy. P17, DXman. P18, Lawler scored. It's Sandy, P19. McNuggies, P20 rounds out the grid. Will the Alfa Romeos be able to bring home a 1-2 in the race? Or will there be more to come in this race? We'll have to see. Saudi Arabia always creates a good race, so this will be definitely interesting to see. This race is going to be very, very close, and I'm super excited to see how this turns out, and that was a great end to qualifying there. That's the best qualifying session I think I've seen in ORL ever, in my opinion. So the drivers will be selecting their strategies, selecting their tyres of choice, making sure they've got the right amount of fuel in the car, and get ready to go. As here we go to 5 red lights for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here in ORL 4 Tier 2. And it's lights out and away we go. Milan gets off to a good start. So does Zonex though. Zonex is going to get the move done into turn 1. Zonex takes the lead. No, they're still going to go side by side. Milan will have the inside for the next corner. They make contact. There we go. Kia is now side by side with Zonex. He's going to have to bail out though. He doesn't want to have a crash. And that is Milan followed by Zonex followed by Kia. Still there's drivers swapping left, right and centre up the back here. There's an Alfa Romeo an Alpine off the track. And that's a virtual safety car already in this race. Dead Heat up into P10. There's a bit of a kerfuffle going on at the back here. What is going on? Let's bring up position change. So Dead Heat down 3 places. Zonex down 1. Kia in P2. I don't understand where that overtake would have happened. Maybe Zonex made a mistake when the VSC came out. Hudman P4 though, and Mickey stayed stationary. Phoenix moved up into P6 though, so that'll be great for him. Alpha 3 down 1 position. Kizzy's held ground. Sparks up 1, Dead Heat down 3, not looking good for him so far. And Firestrike has stayed even. PS Bomber up 1 position, so the Alpine's doing quite decent for themselves. Call Me Keg down 1 position. Churchy and DXman both up 2, so they'll be happy with that. Spicy down 3, but the VSC is in. I forgot to mention it's a sprint race. I completely forgot that it's a sprint race, if I'm honest. And it's a sprint weekend, and obviously 35% races for the sprint weekends. Here we go, the AlphaTauri going side by side with Phoenix. Will Phoenix go through Mickey and Phoenix going side by side as they enter into the final corner, and there's contact, and that is a huge crash. Phoenix has no end plate. They're 3 wide at the final corner. Mickey with no wing needs to try get into the pit lane, and that has been a very big carnage of a start. They're both into the pit lane. Kizzy into P4, Hudman still P3. The AlphaTauri's having a decent start still with Hudman, but there we go, Hudman through on Kia. Kia hits the wall, and that is a very poor run there for Kia. Kia will have to try get back into second place. Don't know where Zonex dropped off to. Maybe he got damaged. Maybe that'll be a report to come. That'll definitely be interesting. Firestrike into the pit lane too. Kia putting the pressure on Hudman though. This is for the Alfa Romeo 1-2 in the sprint race. Sparks up into P5 though. Getting gains. Here we go. Dead Heat P6 ran wide. That's how Sparks got through. This has been a very interesting sprint race, and it's only lap 2. Here we go. DXman right around the outside of the McLaren. Kizzy not putting up a fight. Does he have front wing damage? Yes, he has no front right end plate, so the cars will be swamping him here at Jeddah. You need downforce here. Churchy up positions on McNuggy. He's going side by side with Churchy, and they're going to head into the chicane. They bump wheels, and that sends Churchy off the track. And here we go, the other Williams of Spicy coming through. This is an absolute front wing all over the place first, and there we go, virtual safety car as Kia was about to look for a move on Hudman. Holy moly, what a start to the sprint race. I think we're about to get underway again, but some of the drivers still going slow, so maybe not. Oh, what has happened there? Spicy's just rammed straight into the back of Call Me Keg. No damage to either cars, though, and no penalties. And it's a full safety car. In a sprint race, there's a full safety car. That is definitely a curveball in the making. And that's going to hurt Kia players' chance at getting P2. Because there's going to be less laps. The safety car pretty much is going to come out here. And then it's going to have to come in at the end of the next lap. Because that's how the game is coded. It has to come in with at least 2 laps to go. And being a 6-lap sprint race is insanity. So I'll run you through your position changes then. So Hudman up 2 places, Kia looking to make it only 1, Alpha 3 up to P4, Sparks up 5 positions into P5, he'll be happy with that already. Dead Heat P6, DXman P7 up 10 positions, that's a very good start from him. Call Me Keg P8, Zonix down 7 positions, not great for him, obviously I don't actually know what happened, but he did have to come in. Mickey down 5 positions after losing his wing, only 5 positions after losing a wing, not too bad, that'll be... he'll be looking to make up positions on the restart. PS Bomber up 2, Fire Strike down 1, McNuggy's up 7, great start after being disqualified in qualifying. Churchy P14 up 2 positions, Kizzy down 7, not a good start at all. Frosty down 1, and the rest of the grid is down 1 except for Sandy, who is absolutely equal. And this is looking like it could be an interesting race with only 2 laps of racing when the safety car comes in at the end of next lap. I don't think it can come in at the end of this lap. That should allow all I scored to catch up. But this restart will be very interesting. Let's see how far DX1 can continue to go as well. Because I think that's a person we have to look out for in the main race after serving a qualifying ban. As Kia has a wing damage, he said. Uh-oh. He said he can manage it though. Let's see, does he have an end plate? As long as he has an end plate, it's not bad. He has an end plate. So the safety car should be in at the end of this lap, but we haven't gotten the message yet from the game. This will be definitely interesting if it stays out. I don't think it should be able to, because it's normally against the game's code. It has to leave 2 laps. So if it is in this lap, there we go. The drivers will be looking to warm the tyres up, and Milan, all the pressure on here to close out the sprint race well, but I think he can do it. Could be a bit of bias because I'm his TP. It'll definitely be interesting to watch though if he can win this sprint race. That'd be an insane result. Kia obviously will be looking to get a good restart. When will Milan go? Will he try help his teammate with when he goes? He's still holding up the pack. and he's gone now. Kia getting a decent run on Hudman, but Hudman has an even better run on Milan as they head into turn 1. Will Hudman go up the inside? No, he's going to back out early. Kia up the inside, dummies it, doesn't actually go for the move. Sparks down the grid getting pressured by Dead Heat, but Dead Heat being pressured by DXman. What will DXman be able to do against Dead Heat? Will he move up into the top 6? By the end of this lap, we'll have to see. McNuggy's up into P12. Not a lot of side-by-side or position changes going on at this point still, though, because people are just trying to finish out this sprint race. There we go. Spicy and Sandy had a bit of a side-by-side moment. That was nearly a massive incident, but they avoided it well. DXman pressuring Dead Heat a lot. But I'm going to move back into Kia Plays, pressuring Hudman. Kia Plays gets an absolutely beautiful exit out of this corner, and he's got a run on Hudman. This should leave him on a run to the straight, as we're going to enter the final lap of this race when we cross the line after this one. So being ahead on this lap won't be as crucial. He'll actually want to maybe stick behind and get some slipstream. There's a yellow flag. Was it PS Bomber? I think it might have been. Maybe not. No, it was not Kizzy. His race is going bad to worse there, as he has no front wing. Hudman, though, pressuring Milan on the final lap of this sprint. Well, the final, the penultimate lap of this sprint race. This ending is going to be very, very close. Hudman going to pull to the left-hand side, going to go up the inside on Milan as they enter the final corner. Milan shouldn't fight this. He should take the slipstream and run with it. Maybe even let Kia through. He's done that. And now Kia can try challenge for the win on the final lap of this sprint race. Hudman got a bad exit. He's going to defend the left. And he's cut across Kia, and he's gone into the wall. He's done that to himself, though. That was illegal defense, and way too late of a move. Alpha 3 getting involved now. Hudman on the inside, maybe gonna hit one of the Alfa Romeos. He gets past on Milan. Milan now needs to pressure, but Hudman will now pressure Kia. Kia does have some damage, so we'll have to see how Kia can manage it. Hudman will back out through this corner, and hopefully Milan can catch up. This is the last lap of the sprint race, and it is very close. This is as close as you can find in any league racing on the planet. And will he be able to take home the win? Who will take home the win? One of the Alfa Romeos or Hudman? Milan all over the back of him, though. Doesn't have the battery. He needs to start burning his battery. Hudman nearly out. So Milan has played this perfectly. If Milan can just get a good exit onto the straight and use his battery as Spicy is out of this race, so is Sandy and Lolai scored. Maybe Milan can secure a 1-2. It was looking like he was going to win at some point, but now he's just trying to get P2 and let his teammate get into P1. The battery is now on. Will he get P2 in the sprint? There's still one more straight to go. He should still be using a little bit more of his battery, but we'll have to see as they enter the chicane. Down to 5th gear. Get a good exit. If he can get a good run on Hudman here, anything is possible, but Hudman has a run on Kia. Milan, though, gaining with the battery. They're going to box him in. The Alfa Romeos have played the team game to perfection here. And they're going to maybe pick up the 1-2. They're 3 wide at the final corner. Will the Alfa Romeos get 1-2? Hudman goes slowly. Milan's going to pick up the win in the sprint. Sparks is around. Milan wins the sprint. Kia P2. And DXman P3 to the line. What a finish to the sprint. Zonix picks up P7, no front wing on his car. Sparks P9. Call Me Keg has 20 seconds of penalties, I don't know how. That is 5 DNFs in the end of the sprint, and oh my word, Milan picks up P1, Kia P2. And DXman, because of Hudman's poor exit and the Alfa Romeo is playing the absolutely perfect team boxing in-game, forcing him to get a bad exit, gets P3 to the line. That is the best piece of racing and the closest piece of racing I think I've ever seen. And they've locked it out for the main feature race. So, Milan P1, Kia P2, DXman P3, Hudman P4 will be kicking himself. Mickey gets P5 though, even after losing his wing. Nuggies P6, Zonix P7, PS Bomber P8, Sparks P9, Phoenix P10, Frosty P11, Churchy P12, Dead Heat P13, Kizzy P14, Call Me Keg P15, 16th for Alpha, Fire Strike P17, Spicy P18, Sandy and Lolai scored round out the grid. So now they'll be selecting their strategies. Because there wasn't any strategies in the sprint. I completely forgot about that. So, oh my, okay. The drivers will be selecting their strategies here for the feature race. The Alfa Romeos will be looking to carry their momentum from the sprint race, continue the teamwork, and get a 1 and 2 in the feature. Will they be able to do it? I think is the question a lot of us are asking. Or will Hudman be able to come back through? Or maybe even DXman challenging. He came from the back of the grid after serving a quali ban up to P3 in 6 laps, taking advantage of the carnage. But we come to 5 red lights here for the feature race in Saudi Arabia. And it's lights out, and away we go. The Alfa Romeo's get a good start. DXman gets off to a pretty poor one. He might get jumped by Hudman. No, Hudman also got a pretty poor start. McNuggy's up the inside of Hudman. They make a little bit of contact. There's a couple of spins at the back. A couple of drivers having to avoid some of the other drivers. But that kind of clean through turn 1. The Ferraris of Phoenix and the Haas of Lolascore and Frosty around, though. But there's still plenty of time. 18 laps of the feature race to go. And this should be interesting. Zonix P3 got past DXman. Zonix will be looking to make amends after his poor sprint race. After getting P2, he knows he can challenge the Alfa Romeos, but will he be able to bring it home well is the question. I think we're asking. Churchy up into P9. There's an Alpha Tauri slow. It's Mickey and Dead Heat going side by side with the Aston Martin for a second there. I missed it though. Sandy and Kizzy maybe about to fight it out. Kizzy had a terrible sprint race. Will he be able to improve on that in the feature is a question we might be asking. Zonix already quite close over the back of Milan. The sprint race winner already dropping down, and he's in P2, down 1 position, but I don't think he'll be bothered as long as he gets a podium in this race. Zonix will be looking to pressure him though. Zonix used a little bit of battery, but Milan's used even more. But I forgot, they're on different tyres. Milan is on hard, so that makes a lot of sense. Kia and Zonix on soft, so that might bring Zonix into it later, but perfect timing. Virtual safety car. Milan has been saved. Those hard tyres are definitely an interesting choice, though, for an 18-lap race. He doesn't have any soft tyres, I don't think, so that might hurt him very badly. So the virtual safety car is deployed. Churchy coming into the pit lane has no wing. Spicy has a penalty. I need to get the penalty, though. Yeah, definitely. Interesting start to this race. The McLaren's double stacking, annoyingly enough. And Kizzy into the pit lane. Sparks also into the pits. A lot of drivers just diving into the pits, either for new wins or maybe trying to get to the end, because 18 laps is pretty short. It's lap 2 out of 18, and we've gone green. DXman side by side with Zonix for P3 in this race. Will he be able to get it done? He's on the mediums versus the softs on Zonix's car. They're still side by side. DXman will back out and live to fight another day, but McNuggy's now trying to go up the inside of DXman. I think DXman has just lost his wing or lost an end plate of his wing. We'll have to check. No, he hasn't, but there was a little bit of contact there. He'll be looking to get past McNuggy's again. Annoyingly enough for him, he's dropped down on this restart. Hudman, the person who got robbed of P4 because he got a bad exit, might be able to pick up positions here. He's going to get past DXman, the person who stole P3 in the sprint off of him, and now he's going to try to go right around the outside of McNuggy's. And he's on absolutely no battery, and it's only lap 2. Definitely an interesting way of carving his way back through the grid. But will he try to go right around the outside? Yes, he does. They're still side by side as they enter the exit of the final corner. They're still side by side, but I'm going to move to Zonix here, who has a good run on Milan. Milan on the hards won't be able to really defend that well. DRS is now enabled this lap. Kia needs to keep pushing on, and Milan on the inside defends well from Zonix. Zonix backs out, tries to go for maybe a better exit as they enter to go into turn 3. No, he doesn't get a better exit. Milan lives to fight another day, but with DRS, I think Zonix will sail past sooner rather than later. Hudman up into P4, past McNuggy's and DXman. DXman now needs to start pressuring McNuggy's once again. Mickey needs to start trying to bring the gap back from DXman, and not a lot of other close fighting going on except for Churchy versus Sandy. Sandy defending well for now. Spicy coming out of the exit of the pit lane. He's going to exit side by side with his teammate. Oh no, he's going to make contact with Sparks. That could have been bad. Sparks now just going to back out behind Spicy. And there we go, Churchy. Bit of lag there from Churchy, so that's not ideal for him. Call Me Keg coming out of the pits. I mean, Alpha 3 coming out of the pits on the hard tyres. Phoenix has had to pit again. That's pretty much his feature race over. Not great, because this is where all the big points are scored. And the Alfa Romeo is somehow still running P1 and P2. I think Zonix, being patient, knowing he has more battery, knowing he's on faster tyres, he doesn't need to force anything. But those hard tyres will only begin to get better and better compared to those soft. But I think those softs still have at least 4 more laps of good life left in them. So we'll have to see how they manage to get along as Milan gets stronger in this race. Obviously, mandatory pit stop still. Oh, Milan, big snap there on those hards. Maybe not having the grip you would hope. And Hudman not close enough to pressure him though. So Milan will be looking to just stay behind Zonix and hopefully wait for those softs to go off and then have better tyres in the second stint if he has soft tyres left. And pull a sort of reverse situation. Here we go. Sparks right around the outside of Church. He gets the move done. Nice and well done there from him. Churchy dropping back a little bit. Might get some pressure here from Sandy. No, Sandy is kind of in an awkward spot where he's not really close enough to pressure anyone. Here we go. DXman on the back of Hudman. Hudman's ran wide though and has a great exit on McNuggies. Will he go around the outside or down the inside on McNuggies? No, he won't. DXman not close enough to go for a move on Hudman either. This battle train is getting big as Milan is falling into their clutches on those hards. Just really not having the grip. He might even feel like he's on some sort of ice compared to those soft and medium runners behind him. But I think his hards will phase in as this race goes in. I have done a league race at Saudi Arabia for OPSL. And I must say those hards do not have a lot of grip. But they do get better as the stint goes on. So that's what he'll be counting on here. Phoenix serving a penalty? No, replacing his wing. He's not having a great time of things at all. McNuggies though on the back of Milan. DRS open, has very similar amounts of battery. He's going to go right around the outside of Milan. Milan's going to look to defend the inside. He defends it well, but will he get a good exit? McNuggies tries to go for a switchback and makes contact though with Hudman, and that could be a bit of an incident report after the race, but Hudman pulled a perfect bump and run there. McNuggies luckily picked up no damage. And now DXman looking to get through on Hudman, who will get the position. DXman gets through, but McNuggies up the inside. And McNuggies gets the move done on Hudman, and now Hudman finds himself at the back of this battle train. This is actually taking the pressure off Milan just a little bit, but now DXman on the mediums through. Those mediums would probably be in the best life out of any of them overall. And, yeah, definitely will be happy days for him, as I think he can go and pressure Milan. Zonix, though, doing very good job in P2. I think people will get penalties. Hudman's out! He's crashed! And it's a safety car deployed, and that'll be great for the soft runners. He's just crashed there. I don't know how. Well, that may be an incident. Maybe he's just lost it on his own. Not sure, but that is a full safety car here in the feature race, and that brings Zonix back into Kia's DRS range and all sorts. But Milan on those hards kind of screwed a little bit here, because it's not really time for him to pit yet. And it is time for those soft runners to come in, I think. It'll depend. Maybe Milan can go mediums till the end. I don't know, but there we go. Sparks has just got a drive-through for speeding under safety car. That'll not be good for him. Let's see who comes in. I think everybody's in. Yep, everybody. Even Milan is in. That's interesting. He's probably going to pit for fresh mediums till the end. That'll be the play. I think that's where all the soft runners are going with it anyway. So Milan just definitely didn't have softs to work with. A decent double stack there for Alfa Romeo. No, he's replacing his wing. He has wing damage. I don't know where he picked it up, but he is replacing his wing. That'll give him a little bit of work to do in this race, as he's going to drop down the grid a little bit. I don't know where he got damaged. Maybe he accidentally just had his thing selected on yes, and if so, not great for him. That brings DXman up into P3. Milan comes out P6, maybe. Yeah, it does come out P6, but he does have good pace, and we know that from qualifying and the sprint, so he'll be able to find his way back through if there isn't any incidents. So I'll run you through who is pitted and who's on what tyres. So everyone down except for Churchy, Lolai scored and Dead Heat. So everybody pretty much has pitted very recently. Yeah, everyone on the grid has pitted within the last 5 laps of this race. Well, that's because it's only lap 6 to be fair. What am I waffling about? Okay, so P1 all the way down to P7's pitted recently on this lap for the safety car. A couple of guys having to go to hards though. That's costly. I think the mediums can make the end. So DXman on hards per se, like, that's going to cost him. He has good pace, but those mediums are going to be quicker. Milan should be able to get his way back into the top 3 quite easily on the restart with fresh mediums. But yeah, everyone in the top 7 on fresh tyres, low I scored, and dead heat not on super fresh tyres. Everyone then down from P10 to P13 on fresh tyres, and then everyone from P15 and 16 on fresh tyres. Same with Alpha 3 and Phoenix, but not 0 lap fresh tyres like the people who pitted under the safety car. But everyone is on relatively fresh tyres here. A couple of drivers have pitted a lot though, so we'll go to stops. Yeah, a couple of drivers. Low I scored hasn't stopped yet. He's the only driver not to have stopped in this race. Phoenix is on 4 pit stops, but that safety car is kind of a blessing for him then, I guess, because maybe if the safety car waits for him enough, he is very far behind though, it might catch him up to the grid and give him another chance in this race. Nothing much more to run you through under this safety car, except for the fact that Sandy has 9 seconds, and obviously Spark's having a bit of a stinker here with a drive-through. That'll be annoying for him because there isn't a lot of time to recover after the safety car restart. Phoenix and Spicy, the last drivers that need to catch up to the safety car, and they are very far behind the group. But they should be able to catch up by the end of this lap anyway. Wish we had a safety car camera in it. So the mediums should make the end for all those drivers that have pitted, and those hard drivers will be kind of annoyed, because I know DXman had no choice because he started on the mediums, but these guys started on the softs but just don't have a set of mediums. Maybe they use them in the sprint. The safety car is in at the end of this lap, and it'll leave a 10-lap sprint until the end, and it'll be interesting to see how the drivers get along here. Will they be safe, or will everyone be quite aggressive, and when's Kia going to go with it? Is he going to try give his teammate a bit of an advantage? Zonix hits him. Anyway, wing off there, I think from one of the Williams. No, it's Zonix from rear-ending Kia, so that's ruined Zonix just a little bit there. But we are underway now in this race. And here we go, already trying to make moves is Milan on the inside. Gets the move done on PS Bomber. I think he might have already had that done. I'm honestly a bit special. Sorry, I just had to fix the audio on my headset there because it just went down and you guys wouldn't be able to hear anything either. Churchy, rear ends dead heat, and then, what has just happened? Frosty came bowling in on dead heat, and that has ruined dead heat's restart. There's a car off to the side there, I think it's Spicy. No, Spicy's in the pit lane. I think it was Fire Strike off the track. No, it was Alpha the 3 in the Aston Martin. He was looking for a strong result here too. DXman now pressuring Kia for the lead. DXman on worse tyres though on those hards, so hopefully Kia can start to push and pump away. Mickey also looking good at the back there. Milan now has a run on McNuggies on the better tyres, on those mediums. They will be fresher and needs to take advantage of them, while they are completely better than the hards, rather than just by a little bit. And he's going to go right around the outside, gets the move done before the braking zone. McNuggies might try pressure him again into the final corner. Back down to Churchy. Sparks has that drive through to serve though. So we'll have to see how Churchy and Sparks get along here. Sparks might come in at the end of this lap, or he might stretch his drive through as far as it can possibly go before he comes in. Dead Heat looking to make a move on Low Squad. Low Squad runs off the track. He has no wing, so that is move done for Dead Heat. Kizzy running quite well behind Frosty here. He has the battery on. Will he go for a move down into turn 1? That's a car in very late there. It is Sparks. Yep, he is in to serve his drive-through. Here we go, Frosty on the inside of Churchy. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. They bump wheels just a little bit, but it's been pretty clean so far. Hard versus mediums. Frosty with a massive snap. Gets Kizzy involved. Kizzy and Frosty now side by side. Kizzy knows better than to attack that, though, into that corner. That is just a way to DNF. Milan, very close behind Mickey now, will be looking to go for a move. If he can get a good exit at some point, that might have been a warning there for him. Everyone will be just trying not to get penalties here, because if you get penalties, that'll very much ruin your race with such a short race distance here. Obviously, being a sprint, we introduced a rule before the season started that sprint races will be 35% distance, hence why the sprint was only 6 laps, and this race is only 18 laps. And I think it's been very good for the racing, and we're seeing that here. Only 2 DNS so far, so running kind of strong as Milan with the run, battery on, gonna pull to the side of Mickey and gets the move done before the braking zone. And now he should stop burning just a little bit. He should start to save his battery while he pushes towards DXman. DXman though, looking for a move on Kia. Will he go for it into the final corner? No, he doesn't have the straight line speed, but they're both on very low battery, as Mickey trying to fight back at Milan and can't quite get the move done. Gets a decent exit. Does Mickey? Is there DRS enabled? No, there isn't, but he does have a good run. DRS is now enabled this lap. Milan's going to have to defend. They're both using all the battery they have. Milan, if he holds the position into turn 1, should hold the position overall and push away from Mickey. Mickey in P4 though, this is quite a good result for him, so he'll be quite happy with that one. Churchy into P7 though, fighting Frosty. Kizzy gets a switch back and moves up all the way up, but can't go side by side with Frosty. Hudman left the session, obviously DNF'd anyway, so it's not a big deal. Sandy, with 9 seconds of time penalties at MP12, quite close behind the Aston Martin. Call Me Cake hits the wall, misjudges the corner, and loses his end plate. And that's a safety car. The safety car is now deployed because McNuggies has no wing, and the Aston Martin also lost his wing. Well, lost a bit of his wing, so debris all over the track. Should have probably been a VSC, but the game has given us a safety car, and this is going to be a true sprint to the end now, because it'll be out for, I reckon, around 2 laps, and then we'll have 6 laps just like the sprint, but DXman is already up the front. This will be interesting. Will DXman come in for softs? Will any drivers come in for any, maybe softs that they might have saved? Maybe, obviously, DXman definitely has softs. You got to think about that. He definitely has softs, because DXman had to serve a quali ban, so he has softs. So he comes in for softs now. He's chilling. Kia plays. Only did 1 lap in qualifying, so I'm pretty sure he has another set of softs. Because he used 1 set of softs in qualifying, 1 set of softs in the sprint race, and now 1 set of softs. Oh no, he used 1 at the start of the race, so does he have a low wear set of softs? He is coming in. Milan also in, maybe for a set of softs. I don't know if he has fresh softs, we'll have to find out. Will any drivers stay out? DXman and Mickey did. So the Alfa Romeos are taking a big gamble here with a very ballsy double stack. Didn't lose too much time from it though, but they're going to have to get through the field now. So that's either going to be the perfect strategy call or the worst one they possibly could have made and ruined a double podium. We'll have to see how that goes. They're going to come out P6 and P7, so not bad respectively, but not P2 and P3. As Churchy, no, I don't even know who was that. I think it was Spicy's car in the middle of the track. That might have been why the safety car came out. So how many drivers came in for fresh tyres? So obviously the 2 Alfa Romeos did, McNuggies had to, Phoenix did, Churchy did, Sandy did, Fire Strike did, Dead Heat didn't, Call Me Kagan Lol Scored did, so this will definitely be interesting, because the X-Men has good pace, so those softs might be a lot faster, but they still have to fight through the grid, and by then, will their softs still be good enough to get to the X-Men? I think they'll be able to fight through at least for a P3 and P4, still good points, but I'm not sure if this was the best call. I think... Hold on. Sorry if you can hear someone mowing grass or whatever, my neighbour's being a dick. And mowing the grass. Obviously, well, he's not being a dick, but you know. Sorry for no commentary. I literally never know what to talk about under safety car. It's a bad habit I have. I just always go quiet under safety car because I say the thing that I need to say and then I just completely forget from there what I should be waffling on about. I think safety cars is one of the hardest parts of being a commentator. Hopefully the safety car is in this lap and we get it underway. Yes, we do. The Alfa Romeos are P5 and P6, so somebody else must have came in or something like that. So this will be interesting. Will the Alfa Romeos be able to get back through, or will they maybe have an incident or two on their way trying to get to the X-Men? Will they pick up a 1-2? Is the question I'm asking as their team principal. And Sparks and Milan had a little bit of a moment there. I don't know what's going on anymore. Anyway, DX-Men has control of the restart. When's he gonna bolt? Is the question I'm gonna ask. Still weaving, and he's gone early, got the battery on, and he's gotten away quite well. Mickey not pressuring him. I'm going to move to the Alfa Romeos because they're just in a massive pack here. Nuggy's trying to go for a move on Sparks. Hopefully he doesn't outbreak himself and hit one of the Alfa Romeos. And he breaks super late, goes up the inside of Milan. Milan still on the inside though, just about holds the position. That was an absolute send from Nuggies. Sparks on the back of Sonics, the two Red Bull teammates, might have an incident much like they did in Qatar, but I think... Ooh. Sparks... Great timing. Sparks hit the inside wall there, so that takes away that threat, but it also, I think, took away Sparks' end plate. It did, and now he's a bit of a hazard on the track here. Phoenix right around the outside on Sparks. Sparks should hopefully get out of the way. Churchy goes right around the outside of him. Frosty and Mickey side by side. No, Frosty and Kia side by side. Through goes Kia into P3. That's a front wing off somewhere. Hopefully Milan doesn't get collected in that if the Alfa Romeos want to keep pushing. Milan only in P7. Zonix and him have a little bit of a tap, and Milan's out! Milan has been caught up by all the carnage going on, and that's Milan out of the race. Hopefully Kia can still get a move on here. Gets the move done on Mickey. There we go, easy does it. And he's now going to go to chase DXman, but moving back down the group. That was a massive incident. I don't know what Frosty was doing. He was just super slow on the side of the track. He has no wing, and he's just caused Milan to crash out of this race, and a couple of other drivers, I think, to lose their front wings. That throws a massive curveball in this race. If you look up and down from Frosty backwards, you'll see a lot of drivers with a bit of damage. That was absolute carnage. As that leaves 5 people out of the race, both in the sprint and the feature race. Hopefully no more DNS to come in the main race. And Mickey still on the back of Kia, but Kia still got quite a bit of a gap. But DXman has 3 seconds already, and they're on very similar batteries, so Kia has it all to do. DXman on hards is the only thing you have to remember. That's another DNF there. Kizzy retiring at turn 1. I think retired in the pits, though. As Frosty coming out of the pit lane now, comes out ahead of Sparks. And yeah, Kia closing the gap quite dramatically though. Those hard tyres are nowhere near as good as those softs. And if Kia keeps at the rate he's going, we might see a move on the final lap, which would be absolutely insane. And shades of the sprint race once again. McNuggy's close to the back of Mickey. Will he be able to go for a move? And also Phoenix close to the back of Churchy. Will he be able to go for a move? There's a lot of drivers just very close behind each other that you just got to ask, are they going to go for a move? But I think McNuggies is the person we will watch now. This battle here is the one for P3, and McNuggies all over the back of Mickey. Nuggy's gone for a lot of big moves in this race, and a lot of questionable sends, to say the least. I think there might be a few reports to his name after this race. And here we go, McNuggies with another send down the inside. Will he get the move done on Mickey? They're side by side. He gets a snap of oversteer. They made a little bit of contact. Mickey holds on to fight another day. DRS is now enabled, and Kia needs to keep pushing on. Here we go, McNuggies and Mickey side by side. Mickey out of battery though. McNuggies still with a little bit left in the tank. Not much better off than Mickey though. Gets the move done into turn 1. And now Phoenix heads down into turn 1. Can't quite get that done though. Can't go for a move. Lol, I scored though on PS Bomber side by side. PS Bomber defending and liftified another day. Frosty and Spark side by side as they enter through the final corner. And Frosty holds the position for now, but down into turn 1 we go. Will Sparks go for a move? He's still got a little bit more battery than Frosty does. Oh no, Frosty has much more battery. And they're going to go side by side into turn 1. And this is only for P13, so it's not really an important position, but Frosty, living to fight another day. Frosty gets a massive snap, though. Sparks pulls up alongside. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get the greatest exit. And Firestrike back on the back of Dead Heat. And 2 seconds is the gap between the two leaders. Only, though, 3 laps left to close this gap. Kia, 1.9 to DXman. Will move back up to them when needed. Rapid Mickey looking to fight back at McNuggies here. Kia plays now only 1.8 back from DXman. This is going to be a fight to the wire. They're both very, very low on battery, if not on the same percent. But I'm going to move back to Mickey on the outside of McNuggies for the final podium place here. There's still 3 laps to go, so this isn't the most important move. If anything, I'd be saving battery and looking for an attack on the final lap, kind of like what Kia's doing, except without the saving battery part. None of them are saving battery. They're all burning in the exact same places at the same time. 1.6 is the gap between the two leaders. But here we go. Mickey in the move for turn 1. Can't quite get it done. McNuggies gets him back and pulls off the move for P3. Still 2 laps to go though, so anything's possible. The Churchy and Phoenix though fighting away. Phoenix tries to go for the better exit. They make contact. That's Churchy a bit out of shape there. Will Phoenix let him go? No, Phoenix is going to try go right around the outside. Will Churchy hold the inside? No, he backs off behind him. Dead Heat, P7, might be able to pick up a top 5 here if he can choose his points and pick his battles at the right point. The gap between the leaders now, only 1 second. So this is the fight we now watch. I actually think, no, we might move back to DXman. I mean, Dead Heat, he's gone right around the outside of Churchy. Does Churchy have damage? Yes, he does. He has no front left end plate. And now we're going to move to Kia Plays, who is very close to DXman. They're both very low on battery, but I think Kia has better straight line speed and the better tyres, which is helping him through the corners. So will Kia be able to pick up this win in the race? Those hards aren't in the best of shape anymore, even though they're hard tyres. They've still been on for most of the race, so they will be starting to feel a bit second-hand. But will the softs of Kia start to feel second-hand? We'll have to see in the DRS ranges. Kia now DXman on a little bit, I think 1% less battery than Kia. This is the fight for the lead as we come onto lap 17 out of 18 here in the feature race, rounding the final corner. Kia should probably stay patient in my opinion, but he also, I don't know what his tyres are like, so he might have to go for a move now and try to stretch the gap while his tyres still can. DRS open, pulls to the outside. Will he get the move done on DXman? Yes, DXman sticks behind, but now will DXman be able to utilise the DRS to stay with him, or will Kia pull away too much by the time we get to the DRS zone? Me as the Alfa Romeo TP, I am hoping he does pull away before the DRS zone, but he's going to have to push his absolute life out though. DXman in that dirty air though is prone to making a mistake potentially here under the pressure, and I think DXman knows he shouldn't fight this too hard. I've talked to him before in post-race interviews and he knows when to fight and when to not, and I hope he does today because I honestly don't know if he's going to be able to get this back done on the hards, but that's my wish as the TP. Dead heat though, gaining on Churchy. He did get a move on him before. Churchy must have fought back, but here we go, run on for P6. Will he be able to get up into P6? Yes he can. Well, they're still side by side actually, and Churchy I think lives to fight on for another day for the moment. Back to the leaders, DXman using all of his battery now with the DRS. Hopefully he doesn't go for a move into this corner because that could end in absolute disaster for the both of them. And he does stay behind. Kia gets a decent exit, but that DRS might be enough to get him back into the lead. But I don't think Kia's too bothered because if Kia has the DRS coming onto the final lap, he will be in the advantage. As here we go, DXman tries to go right around the outside. Will he be able to pull off the move right around the outside? Can he get it done? Good exit there from DXman. Should get the move done into turn 1. He's very close behind Kia. If Kia can defend it to turn 1, he might just about win this race. But Kia's going to have to push his life out. I think his softs are going off now. And I just heard DXman lift off just a little bit there. He wants the DRS on this final lap. Kia's going to let him through though. Kia has let him through, but he got a bad exit. And that leaves Kia quite far behind. And now he's going to have to push. Is that cost Kia the win? That little snap there and trying to be smart and let him through. Has that cost him the win? 6/10 the gap. Will Kia get this done? Kia dropping back dramatically. More and more and more and more. He's going to hope DXman makes a mistake now. The gap is 6/10. Will Kia be out? He's back within 5/10. On board with Kia. He needs to get good exits here. This is for the win of the feature race. For the 25 points for his second race win in the season. I don't remember. Sparks won round 2. So this is for DXman's first win of the season. Now we're entering the DRS zones. Kia got a good exit compared to DXman. This is going to be to the wire. Much like the sprint race. Will Kia be able to pick up his second win of the season as we head through the fast chicane now. This is going to be a final corner move. He's got it wrong. He's ran wide, and now he's in the DRS. But is he close enough? DRS open in the slipstream, gaining. He's going to have to go for a dive bomb and a half. He doesn't go for the dive bomb. It's going to be DXman's win today. DXman played it perfectly. Kia played it wrong by letting him through. DXman's going to win in Saudi Arabia. Take the win off Kia. Kia still comes home P2 though, to the line. Nick Nuggies picks up P3. Rapid Mickey, good result, P4. Disappointing for Milan though. Massive contact there though, dead heat in the wall. Mickey P4, Churchy brings it home P5 just about. Phoenix P6, dead heat P7. 5-strike rounding the final corner for P8. And there we go, P8, P9 for Lolai scored. Zonix, sadly, only just coming home for minimum points. And the other two drivers, Sparks and Call Me Keg, not had a good race. And they're going to come home P10, 11, and 12. Zonix crosses the line, P10, 11, and 12 now. Coming to the line, not their greatest races of all time. Definitely not for Sparks after coming off a win, but it happens. That was mighty close there in Tier 2. And I have to ask them... Okay, time for interviews at DXman, at Kia. Apparently DXman's just said in the chat he might have a penalty after the race. So I'll now just skip this cutscene quickly and I'll run you through your race result. DXman P1, Kia Plays picks up P2, but apparently DXman saying he has an after race penalty potentially. Kia Plays also picks up the fastest lap, so we might see after race penalties affect this race quite a bit. McNuggy's P3, Mickey P4, Churchy P5, Phoenix P6, Dead Heat P7, Firestrike P8, Lawlike Squad P9, Zonix P10, P11 Sparks, Call Me Keg rounds out the finishers, and the rest were DNFs. So now, oh god, I dropped my controller again. I keep dropping my controller. Let's get these guys in. Hopefully they're joining Paddock VC. I'm just trying to get them into the Paddock VC for interviews. Just waiting on Kia. Where's Kia? Can you please join Paddock? Alrighty, so we have all the podium sitters now in. Just give me a sec. I've just gotta leave the lobby, but my game is just fucked. Fun. Alright, I'll just start the interviews then. So, who do I want to start with? I'll start with P3. Nuggies, mate. P3. That a good result for you, or do you think you could have done better?
Bro, I was not expecting to get any points after getting disqualified in qualifying, you know? But P3 would take that.
Yeah, so, good result in your books.
Yeah, back-to-back P3. Nothing I can't be happy about.
Yeah, so solid points. Do you think that'll help you potentially get a high place in the season? Obviously, only being round 3, do you think you can keep this up?
Honestly, I feel like I could be fighting for the championship right now.
Good stuff. We love to hear it. How did you pick up P3 anyway? Because I kind of was more focused on the leader fights, and I saw a lot of carnage going on between P3, P4, and P5. What was going on back there?
So a lot of people back at the back of the pack were going left, like swerving, like Max Verstappen usually does. And I just waited for the corner. That just dived them.
All right. So.
Some incidents, but nothing that ruined anyone's race to the point where, you know.
Yeah. So overall, was it good racing?
Good racing by most people, yeah.
That's what we want to hear. Thank you for that. I hope your TP will be very happy with you in that. Obviously, your teammate.
I hope so.
Your teammate, I'm pretty sure, is your TP. So.
Yeah, he got really unlucky in the race. Few incidents, but you know.
Yeah, it happens.
Points, you know.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Nuggets. So now we'll run P2 Kia. P2, but I've been seeing in tier 2 chat about penalties, but I asked DXman about that. Anyway, how are you feeling about that P2? Do you think letting DXman through there was a mistake?
I guess, yeah, pretty much. I say it was a mistake. I'd understand. I didn't even mean to let him through in the first place.
Yeah, and then did your sauce just go off at the end there? Because you had really good pace when you caught him and you overtook him the first time, and then on the last lap you just started to run wide heaps.
Yeah, my soft just gave up almost at the end.
So maybe the safety car needed to stay out one extra lap then for you, maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously Milan got P1 in the sprint, you P2 with some good teamwork, but then Milan DNF. Were you in a call with him? Do you know how that occurred?
I wasn't in a call with him, but I don't know what happened. I just saw a Milan was out of the session, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I saw him hit Frosty, but I had no idea what the events coming up to that were, because obviously you'd just been racing Frosty, so...
Yeah, I raced Frosty for a bit, but he was holding up two other people, but I went past, so I didn't see.
Okay. Are you happy with the 1-2 in the sprint though? What was it like working with your teammates super well?
Oh, it was amazing. Oh, the chemistry was just perfect there.
Yeah, alright. Thank you for your time. And I'll now go to DXmond. P1 for the moment, but I've seen in tier 2 chat people talking about penalties. What's that about?
Yeah, so license points will probably cost me the win. But who knows? Penalties could come in. I have a couple of tickets myself. But just overall frustrated, like at the end was hovering at about 6.5, 7 seconds to Mickey. And I reckon I lost at least 2 seconds because I understand Kia had the understeer, but it was at the time it looked a bit dodgy given he held me up about 5 corners in a row. But oh well, it's just defensive driving from him, I suppose, not able to be penalised. So we'll just have to wait and see how penalties play out.
Yeah, and just quickly going back to the sprint race, how did you manage to cut your way through? Because you were sitting like near P10, and then just randomly on the last lap you got P3. I never even saw you coming.
Well, I actually don't even know myself. But like I reckon so. I didn't actually gain any positions off the start, but it was just people boxing under the first safety car. That helped a little bit, and I didn't know. I think I only made like 3 overtakes on track, but coming into the last corner, I was, I think, P5 or P6 actually. And then Sparks and Dead Heat had an incident, and Hudman was going slowly. I pipped it by 18 thousandths at the line, so perfect sprint race. Just could have been a little bit better with. I reckon if that second safety car hadn't come out, I would have been pretty good, given I was pulling a gap quite quickly to Mickey and me and Kia were pulling away. So who knows? Oh well.
And oh damn it, I just forgot what I was gonna ask. Fudge. I forgot what I was gonna ask. Anyway.
All good.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Guys, for the interviews, and Div 1 is in about an hour and 8 minutes, so I don't actually...
I think we should talk about what happened on the last corner of the sprint race.
Oh, yes. Like when,
Because there was Dead Heat, Spark, and someone else was caught up in it.
Yeah, Dead Heat and Sparks, they were right next to me. I think Dead Heat kind of just hanging in and tapped, Sparks got stuck on him because Hudman was going slowly as well, so Sparks had to swerve to avoid him. I think that was what it looked like, and then I pipped Hudman because he was going slowly.
Yeah, I went from like P8, P10 to like P6 from that last corner.
Yeah, I got P6 to P3.
Yeah, it was insane that last corner.
Okay. Do you think there'll be any reports about that, or?
I feel like there might be a couple.
There could be 1 or 2, but I reckon that, who knows? We'll just have to wait until reports.
It's probably just a racing incident, pushing the last lap.
Yeah. Alright, so that'll be the end of the stream today, and Div 1 in about an hour or so. Don't know who'll be commentating that. I need to double check, but I think there's a few people who will want to, and also I might be, because my ankle is stuffed, so I don't know if I'll be able to race. So that'll be all for tier 2, and we'll see you guys next week.